Everyone, today I'm going to show you a technique and also a fun pop-up card which I got from Lisa Curcio. So this is a new stamp set that's coming out in the new mini catalogue on July the 1st. So this one's done in real red with some new designer series paper as well, with this gorgeous Scottie dog, which is a bundle with a stamp set and a punch. And this is the same card but in fresh freesia and gorgeous grape and Highland heather for the dog. I'm going to show you a technique, how to get these lovely checks on the dog, still having the eye there in the catalogue, which I'm not allowed to show you a photograph of. It's got the checked stamp, which is one of the stamps in the set, and they've had to use the gem for the eye because they didn't do what's called the kissing technique for the stamping, which is what I'm going to show you. So that's the one in Highland Heather, gorgeous grape and also fresh freesia. This one is in real red with memento black. And so this is just two other variations of this fun pop-up card. This is similar to the one that Lisa Curcio's daughter did, but she stamped the flowers from Hues of Happiness, whereas I've used the designer series paper, and this is one of the cards in my upcoming class, online next week and in person the week after. So if you want to join the class, please give me a ring or contact me and ask about that. So without further ado, the first thing I'm going to show you is how to do the stamping technique with a Scottie dog. So what you do is get your Stamparatus and get a piece of cardstock that's big enough for the stamp. And in fact, this isn't the stamp I want to use. There are 3 Scottie dogs and there's one that goes with the punch. There's also a bow on the punch as well. So the one that I actually want, so it's a good thing that I checked. I could do this technique with any of these dogs, but I wanted to demonstrate the punch for you as well. I'm going to take the bow out too, and actually what I'm going to do is put, this is another set coming out, Ringed with Nature, but I'm going to put the Scottie dog stamp set there just in case I want it for anything else. So I place the stamp, hang on a moment. It's confusing when there's 3 stamps. That I just got out the stamp of the dog sitting down. But the 3rd stamp, which I've got hold of, is the stamp set I actually want, which is the Scottie dog standing up. I love this deluxe Stamparatus mat because it's got a grid on it, which is really useful. So I place my stamp there and pick it up and just put the bow in the corner because I want that for later. So I'm going to use Poppy Parade this time, which is a brighter red, more orangey red than real red. So the good thing about Stamparatus is if you don't get enough ink on the first time, you have another opportunity. So there you can see the Scottie dog, and I'm going to take my chamois and clean him off a little bit, and I'm going to now ink up this checked stamp that comes with the set. Really useful for backgrounds, this. And this can be used for hinge step stamping with the Stamparatus. I'll do that on another video to show you. So make sure it's well inked up. There's just a bit in the centre there that doesn't seem to be catching the ink as well. Let's see what we can do. Just going to look through. Yeah, I just want a bit more in the centre, so I'm just going to give a good press down in the centre there. That's better. Okay, now I want to make sure that you can see this. So if you can see the Scottie dog there, stamp case underneath to keep it firm. I take the inked up check stamp, place it over the Scottie dog and then carefully press down and try not to move the stamp while you're doing this. Press it firmly down on the stamp case underneath. Pick up and there you've got your checks, and then you just put it over the dog like that. And you've got your checked Scottie dog. So now you take it and take your punch and just line that up. And I've just realised I was going to do it in Tahitian Tide. So actually, do you know what? I'm going to do another one because I want Tahitian Tide, because that's the card dimensions, the coloured cardstock, and the designer series paper I've used is Starry Sky and Tahitian Tide. So I do want to do this dog in Tahitian Tide with Starry Sky. So I'm just going to line this up again, so at least it gives you 2 opportunities. Now I usually line up with, that's fine, with the grid so that then I know where it's going to go. So this time I'll get the right colour, which is Tahitian Tide, one of our new in colours, lovely one. And then I'm going to get, it doesn't matter that it hasn't quite inked up there because it's going to be covered by the Starry Sky. So I'm just going to clean off my checked stamp, get the Starry Sky ink pad, and usually when it's a larger stamp I like to ink it up by taking the ink pad to the stamp and get it well inked up. That's fine, I'm happy with that. So once again, as you saw me do before, just come down over the dog, keep it still, press down really nicely firmly, and there you've got your check, and then just put it over. And now I've got a Tahitian Tide with Starry Sky check, which I'm happy with, and you'll see why in a moment. So there's my dog, and actually if I'd thought about it I would have done my bow on there. I might just be able to stamp it on if I'm careful, but normally I would actually stamp it and then punch it out, but let's see if we can get away with this. No, I think I'll actually stamp it and then punch it out. I did have a scrap of paper for that, here it is, so I'm just going to do that and then punch it out. And actually I got too much ink on that, so I'm just going to clean that off and do it again. That's better. And put the, if you can just see, matching up the punch, and there's my bow. Right, now I'm going to put my Stamparatus away, and I'm going to show you the card and the measurements. And I'm also going to put my ink pads away because otherwise I could end up with ink all over my desk, which I don't want. So it is a good idea if you are constructing the cards to close up your ink pads. So this is a Starry Sky card base, which is 4 1/8, so you just take an A4 piece of cardstock and just cut it at 4 1/8, turn it so that it's landscape and score it 2 inches, and this is 4 1/8 by 11 inches. Score it at 2 inches and then score it at 5.5 inches. Then take a ruler and a pencil, and you're going to put a little pencil mark at 2 1/16 because that's half of 4 1/8. So I'm just going to put the pencil mark like that, and then I'm just going to grab my trimmer, which is here. So I hope you can see that, and I'm going to get the school line there and the pencil mark there. So I've cut off one triangle, it's a right angled triangle, put the pencil mark there, make sure that the score line is in there, and then I've got a piece that looks like that. So that's where I'm going to fold the card, and this will fold back. And then obviously it's a good idea usually to get a bone folder and just do a nice crease line like that. So the other parts of the card, this piece is 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. That's going to go there. And then you've got another piece of basic white cardstock, which is basically 2 5/8 by 2 5/8. That piece is going to stick there and have the Scottie dog on it. And you've got 2 pieces of Designer Series paper. So this is from the DSP paper stack for the In Colours 2022 to 2024. So there's a spotty side and a check side. So this is 3 inches by 3 3/4 inches. And that's going to go there. And this piece is 2 inches by 3 3/4, and that's going to go there. So I'm just going to stick my piece of Designer Series paper down. So when I put Tombow on, I just give it a very light bit of Tombow like that. I don't like to put too much on, so hopefully I'm in the centre of the screen. I did a video the other week and I wasn't in the centre of It's amazing at the centre of the screen. It's amazing how people notice when you make mistakes. You don't get comments when you do a video that's fine, but when you make mistakes, usually people comment on it. But that's fair enough because it made me aware that I need to be more careful where I place everything. So that's going to go on there. And in fact, I'm just going to trim that because I can see I've just got a little bit of white showing. I don't want a little bit of white showing, so I'm just going to trim that off like that, just to slither, as they say in the trade. And I'm going to put that will go there, and then that piece going to come across there. So the Scottie dog is going to go on like that, and I'm just going to stick the bow on because I'm going to put the Scottie dog on dimensionals. So there's the bow, and I'm just going to grab some dimensionals to put behind him. But before I stick him on, I've got to decide, do I want to put some decoration on the back of the white? When I say the back, do I want to put some decoration here? And in the stamp set, you've got some really lovely little snowflakes. So, but if I don't want to do it for Christmas, I can just do the woof. So I think I'll just take the woof. I have done a few of these for Christmas, so it's quite nice to do one that's not for Christmas. So I'm going to open up my Tahitian Tide ink pad again, and I'm going to put 3 woofs, and one is going to go there. So he's going to go like that. One will go like that, and one will go there like that. And I think I might do one at the bottom. There we go. So lots of woofs. So I'm just going to stick him on. So I like the way they've done some non-Christmas things in this stamp set as well. So I'm just going to put him on straight like that. Well, when I say straight, that's obviously on the diagonal. And then now you must make sure with this that you do the glue a little bit inside the halfway mark there, because you don't want it to stick to the card underneath. So like that. And then I'm just going to put that like there. And then this needs to go down. And obviously I will put some sort of sentiment on this card. Sometimes it's quite good to make cards and not put the sentiment on straight away, so that when you suddenly have to grab a card, it's available. So that's going to go on like that. And then you'll see when the card's closed, that goes over like that and then opens up like that. So I could just put You Are Always Loved. They've got here, they've got You Are Always Loved, Merry Christmas, May Your Days Be Furry and Bright. You could have May Your Days Be and find another stamp to have a saying. And then you've obviously got the woof, and you've got various bows and a little present as well for a little Christmas present. So there you go. So I've shown you the kissing technique to get the checks on the dog and still have the eye there as well. That's the one in Starry Sky and Tahitian Tide, Real Red and Memento Black, and Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape with Fresh Freesia Designer Series paper. And there's that one. Thanks very much for joining me this afternoon. Have a great day. See you soon. Bye.